Welcome to Mariposa Read, Enjoy, and Discover, brought to you by the Mariposa Adult Literacy Program with support from the Mariposa County Library and a grant generously provided by the California Library Literacy Services. This program has received generous support from KRYZ Radio for broadcasting Mariposa Read and Mountain Mrs. Creative Space for the use of their recording studio and editing software. The Adult Literacy Program is available to individuals 18 years of age and older. It is a free and confidential service to help adults reach their literacy goals such as citizenship, high school diploma, and employment opportunities. For more information, contact the Mariposa County Library at 209-966-2140 or email Mariposa Read, that's READ, at gmail.com. How this program works is, you may obtain a digital copy or transcript of the content from the Mariposa County Library's website at www.mariposalibrary.org. Select the Mariposa Read menu option under the Adult Literacy tab. You may also find them on the Mariposa Adult and Family Literacy's Facebook page under the event with the title of the show. If you would like a printed copy, they may be found in front of the Mariposa County's main library from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, on the Adult Literacy cart just right outside the door. Okay, it's just after the first of the year, and that means the close of another tax season for those who were able to work this last year. So we here at Mariposa Adult and Family Literacy thought that it would be great to read through the tax form. You could grab a better understanding of what this document says. So for today, we are going to read through the IRS Tax Form 1040. And the intent is not at all to instruct you on how to fill it out or what information specifically it's asking for. We're just going to read it together. We will go from left to right as much as possible. So at the very top left corner, it can see that sideways it says the word Form 1040. In the green box next to that, it says Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, U.S. Individual Income Tax Return. The next box says 2021. The next box says OMB number 1545-0074. The next box, IRS use only. Do not write or staple in this space. All right, and back to the left, under 1040, it says filing status. Check only one box. The first box says single. The next box says married filing jointly. The next box says married filing separately, MFS. The next box says head of household, HOH. The next box says qualifying widow or widower, QW. And then below the boxes, it says, if you checked the MFS box, enter the name of your spouse. If you checked the HOH or QW box, enter the child's name if the qualifying person is a child, but not your dependent. All right, continuing down to the next section, the first area says your first name and middle initial. The next box to the right says last name. And on the far right, it says your social security number. The next line, if joint return, spouse's first name and middle initial. The next box says last name. And on the far right, spouse's social security number. The next line, home address, number and street. If you have a P.O. box, see instructions. The next one says apt no, which stands for apartment number. Below that, on the far left, city, town, or post office. If you have a foreign address, also complete spaces below. Next over, it says state, and the next one, zip code, and then below, foreign country name, foreign province /state/county, foreign postal code. And the green box to the right of that says presidential election campaign. Check here if you or your spouse, if filing jointly, want $3 to go to this fund. Checking a box below will not change your tax or refund. And then the two boxes, you, spouse. Back to the left, the long green box says, at any time during 2021, did you receive, sell, exchange, or otherwise dispose of any financial interest in any virtual currency? Yes, no. Back to the left, standard deduction, age/blindness. The green part says, someone can claim, and the first box, you as a dependent. The next box, your spouse as a dependent. And the box below, spouse itemizes on a separate return, or you were a dual status alien. Below that, for age/blindness, you, first box, were born before January 2nd, 1957. The next box, are blind. Spouse. The first box, was born before January 2nd, 1957. The next box is blind. The next section says dependents. If more than 4 dependents, see instructions and check here. See instructions. First name, last name, social security number, relationship to you, and number 4, check mark, if qualifies for, see instructions, child tax credit, credit for other dependents. Okay, and in the box below, there's a bubble that says attach SCHB, which stands for Schedule B, if required. Okay, so the green box below there has numbers. Number 1, wages, salaries, tips, etc. Attach Forms W-2. For 2A and 3A, there's a bubble, and it says attach SCH, which stands for Schedule B, if required. 2A says tax exempt interest, and B across taxable interest. 3A says qualified dividends, and B says ordinary dividends. 4A says IRA or IRA distributions. B says taxable amount. 5A says pensions and annuities, and B says taxable amount. 6A says Social Security benefits. B says taxable amount. 7 says capital gain or loss. Attach Schedule D if required. If not required, check here. Number 8, other income from Schedule 1, line 10. Number 9, add lines 1, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7, and 8. This is your total income. Number 10, adjustments to income from Schedule 1, line 26. Number 11, subtract line 10 from line 9. This is your adjusted gross income. The bubble for 12A says standard deduction for single or married filing separately, $12,550. Married filing jointly or qualifying widow or widower, $25,100. Head of household, $18,800. If you checked any box under standard deduction, see instructions. And 12A says standard deduction or itemized deductions from Schedule A. 12B says charitable contributions if you take the standard deduction. See instructions. 12C, add lines 12A and 12B. Number 13, qualified business income deduction from Form 8995 or Form 8995-A. Line 14 says add lines 12C and 13. And line 15 says taxable income. Subtract line 14 from line 11. If 0 or less, enter 0. Okay, and below that line it says, for disclosure, Privacy Act, and Paperwork Reduction Act notice, see separate instructions. Cat No, which stands for category number, 11320B, Form 1040, 2021. All right, excellent. So let's look at the next page, 2 pages for this. So at the top left, it says Form 1040, 2021, and on the far right, it says page 2. So number 16, tax, see instructions. Check if any forms 1, and then the boxes are 8814, 2, 4972, and 3 is blank for you to fill in. Number 17, amount from Schedule 2, line 3. Number 18, add lines 16 and 17. Number 19, non-refundable child tax credit or credit for other dependents from Schedule 8812. Number 20, amount from Schedule 3, line 8. 21. Add lines 19 and 20. 22. Subtract line 21 from line 18. If 0 or less, enter 0. Line 23. Other taxes, including self-employment tax from Schedule 2, line 21. 24. Add lines 22 and 23. This is your total tax. Line 25. Federal income tax withheld from A. Forms W-2, B. Forms 1099, C. Other forms see instructions, D. Add lines 25A through 25C. Line 26. 2021 estimated tax payments and amount applied from 2020 return. And then there's a little bubble for 27A. It says, if you have a qualifying child, attach Schedule EIC. SCH is an abbreviation for schedule. And line 27A says, Earned Income Credit, EIC. Check here if you were born after January 1st, 1998, and before January 2nd, 2004. And if you satisfy all the other requirements for taxpayers who are at least age 18 to claim the EIC, see instructions. Letter B, non-taxable combat pay election. And 27C, prior year 2019 earned income. Line 28, refundable child tax credit or additional child tax credit from Schedule 8812. Line 29, American Opportunity Credit from Form 8863, line 8. Line 30, Recovery Rebate Credit, See instructions. Number 31, amount from Schedule 3, line 15. Line 32, add lines 27A and 28 through 31. These are your total other payments and refundable credits. Number 33, add lines 25D, 26, and 32. These are your total payments. Great, so the next section says on the left, refund. Direct deposit? See instructions. Number 34, if line 33 is more than line 24, subtract line 24 from line 33. This is the amount you overpaid. 35A, amount of line 34 you want refunded to you. If Form 8888 is attached, check here. And then for the direct deposit part, it's got the two little arrows and it says routing number, and then the spaces for B. C says type. The first box says checking. The second box says savings. Letter D, account number, and then spaces to put that in. 36, amount of line 34 you want applied to your 2022 estimated tax. The next section says amount you owe. 37, amount you owe. Subtract line 33 from line 24. For details on how to pay, see instructions. Line 38, estimated tax penalty. See instructions. Third party designee. Do you want to allow another person to discuss this return with the IRS? See instructions. And then the boxes say, yes, complete below. The next box says, no. Below that, it says, designee's name. Phone, no, which stands for phone number. Personal identification number, or PIN, PIN. Okay, and back over to the left, it says, sign here. And in the green part, it says, under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have examined this return and accompanying schedules and statements, and to the best of my knowledge and belief, they are true, correct, and complete. Declaration of preparer other than taxpayer is based on all information of which preparer has any knowledge. Below that it says your signature. To the right it says date. And to the right it says your occupation. And to the right of that it says if the IRS sent you an identity protection PIN, enter it here. See INST, which stands for see instructions. Back to the left, it says joint return. See instructions. Keep a copy for your records. To the right of that, it says spouse's signature. If a joint return, both must sign. To the right of that, it says date. And to the right of that, it says spouse's occupation. To the right of that, it says, if the IRS sent your spouse an identity protection PIN, enter it here. See inst, which means see instructions. Right? And then the thin line below that, it says to the left, phone no, which stands for phone number, email address, and then the next section says paid preparer use only. Preparer's name, preparer's signature, date, PTIN, check if, and then a checkbox, self-employed. Back to the left, it says firm's name, phone no, which is phone number, firm's address, firm's EIN. And below that, it says go to www.irs.gov/form 1040 for instructions and the latest information. And on the far right, it says Form 1040 2021. All right, excellent work, everyone. Remember that this is not meant to tell you how to fill this out or give you any instructions beyond simply reading what the form says. If you would like some help with reading the instructions for this, again, we can't advise you on how to fill it out, but we can help you with learning to read it. You can contact the Mariposa County Library or the Mariposa Adult and Family Literacy Programs Coordinator. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you're finding this beneficial. And if you have any recommendations of the kind of content you would like to see for future episodes, we would love it if you gave us a call at the Mariposa County Library, or you can write to us at our Facebook page, which is Mariposa Read, that's READ, @gmail.com. The Adult Literacy Program is available to individuals 18 years of age and older. It is a free and confidential service to help adults reach their literacy goals, such as citizenship, high school diploma, and employment opportunities. For more information, please contact the Mariposa County Library at 209-966-2140 or email Mariposa Read, that's READ, @gmail.com. We hope you've enjoyed this program and we hope you'll join us again. Thank you so much.
This has been Mariposa Adult Literacy Program's Read, Enjoy, and Discover on KRYZ 98.5 LPFM.